In this video, I take a look at the bans cropping up to stop motorhomes from stopping overnight in car parks, speed cameras being added to the NC500, and how the budget will affect the motorhomer. Hello all and welcome to Motorhome and Campervan News. I'm Ads. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, before we carry on, I'll just want to remind you to consider subscribing if you're interested in getting news updates about motorhoming, campervanning and caravanning. And feel free to use the email in the video description to send me news that I may have missed. First, I must apologise. I've not released a news video for a few months, and that's ridiculous. It's just that life and touring Germany has got in the way. I'll try and do better in the future. Anyway, on with the news. Motorhoming and campervanning has become very popular over the last few years, and this has put pressure on tourist spots around the country as these spots get overrun with motorhomes. This has meant that overnight parking bans are sprouting up all over the UK, especially along the coast. North Yorkshire Council have invoked an 18-month trial banning overnight parking to 3 of its coastal car parks due to the sheer number of motorhomes and campervans parked up overnight. The ban will be between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. at various locations, including Sand Centre Raithwaite, Osgodby Hill, Finley Road in Caton Bay and Royal Albert Drive in Scarborough. However, a petition with over 1,100 signatures from residents and tourists is asking the council to reverse the ban in Scarborough and turn part of the Royal Albert Drive into a dedicated motorhome area. And East Lothian Council has introduced new parking restrictions across its coastal areas from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. between April and September. The good news is that the council are also considering creating dedicated overnight motorhome spaces at 4 locations across the county. These are Linkfield, White Sands, Dunbar and Preston Pans. More good news regarding overnight stopovers is that North East Lincolnshire Council has given the go-ahead for a dedicated motorhome overnight stopover in Cleethorpes. The site will have room for 10 motorhomes, a black waste emptying point, toilets and rubbish emptying. The maximum stay will be 48 hours. Charges are currently unknown. The site will be created at Thrunscoe Land car park near Cleethorpes Coast Light Railway. The site will be closed each year between 1st of November and the 14th of March due to the risk of tidal flooding. Because that's the last thing you want. The car park to be flooded while you peacefully slept none the wiser and your motorhome floating down the road. There have been a few motorhome and caravan dealerships closing recently. After 53 years of selling new and used caravans and motorhomes, the family-run dealership Green Trees Caravan Store have decided to cease trading. The dealership started in 1971 by BBC Radio Norfolk presenter Keith Greentree, who handed the business over to his sons in 1996. They are now considering retiring and pursuing new interests. The brothers chose to look for a buyer but couldn't find one that would uphold the family's standards. Existing customers have been contacted to discuss warranties and service plans. However, 3 of the 14 members of staff have decided to continue with their very own caravan businesses. The 2 new businesses are Caravan Gurus and Caravan Hub. Caravan Gurus will be run by 2 of the technicians and offer servicing, body repairs, equipment upgrades and warranty work. They have their own body shop centre which is equipped with a temperature-controlled dry heat painting booth. The other business, Caravan Hub, will be run by the Green Trees sales manager and offers pre-servicing and full valet services for pre-owned caravans. Both businesses will be located near to the Green Trees Caravan Store in Durham, Norfolk. Another family-run dealership, Broad Lane Leisure, based in Warwickshire, has gone into administration after 50 years of trading. The reason for this is due to having too much caravan stock that they couldn't sell and problems with supply chain. This is because of the COVID bubble, which appears to have now burst. I just hope no other dealerships fall into the COVID trap. I can only assume that it might be a great time to buy a cheap motorhome or caravan. A caravan storage site in Oldham, Greater Manchester, has caught fire, destroying dozens of caravans and motorhomes. Witnesses say that huge plumes of thick black smoke could be seen for miles, and large explosions, which are probably the gas bottles, could be heard coming from the massive blaze. Locals say the explosions were like bombs going off, rattling their windows. 6 fire engines were used. No one was injured, and the cause of the fire is currently unknown. A drone has taken photos of a motorhome caught by the high tide on Burnham Overy Staithe Harbour. From the photos and Google Street View, it looks like the harbour is a sandy beach that is used as a car park at low tide. The motorhome looks to be a metallic blue £100,000 Heimer. The water went up as far as the middle of the wheels, and it's not known whether anyone was inside. They'd probably gone fishing. The motorhome was parked there over the weekend and has probably had a few more dips in the water at each high tide. Now, that is a very expensive lesson to be learned. Where would you say that the best Scottish caravan park is? You'll probably say something like the Highlands, the Cairngorms, the Trussocks, or maybe even Glencoe. Well, you'll be wrong. No doubt they are beautiful locations, but a campsite just 12 miles from Edinburgh has won the best caravan park in Scotland at the Scottish Hospitality Awards 2024. Nestled in the countryside on the outskirts of the capital, Lynwater Caravan Park has been recognised for its excellent customer service, immaculate grounds and investment in upgrading facilities. Its staff of wardens and housekeepers were also praised for delivering a top-notch guest experience. Lynwater caters for tents, caravans, campervans and motorhomes, but they also have static caravans and lodges. Lynwater has a store, toilets, showers, an indoor kitchen with cooking facilities, complimentary Wi-Fi, a kids' playground and a dog walking area. The North Coast 500 route in Scotland has become extremely popular over the last few years. Tourists flock from all over the world to drive the NC500 and witness the breathtaking scenery from motorhomes and caravans to motorcycles and cars. Some even race around the 500 or so miles, treating it like a racetrack. In response to reports of speeding and an increase in traffic, temporary speed cameras have been installed along the route. 4 average speed cameras have been installed along a 10-mile section of the A836 between Thurso and Ray, near Dounreay Nuclear Power Station. The cameras are said to be temporary, but there is no indication of how long they'll be there for. There are already speed cameras along the NC500 route on the A9, but these new ones will be the first to be powered off-grid by solar and biomethanol. Being off-grid could mean more speed cameras in remote areas. This is one selfie photo you don't want to take in the Scottish Highlands. The new budget has arrived, but how is it going to affect the motorhomer or caravaner? First of all, the tax on fuel isn't going up for at least another year, and the 5p discount on fuel is still in place. Can you believe, though, that out of the £1.50 or so that we pay for our litre of fuel, 53p is tax? The biggest change for the vanner is the hike in the cost of the first year of road tax for newly registered petrol and diesel vehicles. Now, this is where I get all technical and numbers, so apologies for this next bit. If you buy a vehicle which runs on petrol or diesel, including a hybrid, from the 1st of April 2025, then you'll be paying more to get it on the road. If the vehicle's CO2 emissions are between 1 and 50 grams per kilometre, then the first year of road tax will increase to £110. Vehicles with CO2 emissions between 51 and 75 grams per kilometre, the first year of road tax will increase to £135. A vehicle with higher than 75 grams of CO2 emissions will have the road tax doubled. Here are some examples. A motorhome with a Fiat Ducato engine will double, costing you up to £3,300. A motorhome with a Ford Transit engine will cost you up to £2,190, depending on the engine. For caravan tow cars, I decided to go with the winners of the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Tow Car of the Year Awards 2025. The overall winner was the Volvo XC60 T6 plug-in hybrid, which has a 2-litre petrol engine. This will have a road tax increase from £0 to £110 for the first year. The winner for towing caravans weighing up to 1,300 kilograms is the Volkswagen Golf Estate ETSI, which has a 1,500 petrol engine. This will double from £220 to £440 for the first year. And if you're interested in a pickup, then the winner of the pickup class was the Volkswagen Amarok Pan American 3-litre TDI Auto. This will double, costing a whopping £5,490 in the first year. And according to the government, the idea of these price increases is to get people buying EVs rather than hybrid, petrol or diesel vehicles. To aid with charging EVs, they will also invest over £200 million in 2025 to 2026 to increase the UK's electric charging point network. So if you want to avoid paying so much road tax, then buy before April Fool's Day 2025 or buy an EV. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. I'd love to know your thoughts on today's news. Let me know in the doobly-doo. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.